welcome to the very first episode of Media Mayhem. It is the video magazine created by the Mass Media Club here at St. Louis Community College, Florissant Valley. I am your president, Brenan Hatton. As you can tell, I'm the only person in this camera. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Voyageur launch party. It is an annual magazine about poetry and art from students here at Florissant Valley Community College. So, hope you enjoy today's episode. Don't fall asleep. I will know you fall asleep because I can see, especially you right there in the back of the class. But you're going to enjoy, have fun, eat some food, whatever, and you're going to learn a lot about poetry and maybe shed a tear. You never know.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your attendance. My name is Elva Maxine Beach, and I'm the chairperson for the English and Reading Department here at Flo Valley. And I'm just going to start this by thanking all the people who are involved with our literary journal. So if you don't know, if you just came because you saw something happening, I'll explain what this is. So Florissant Valley has a literary journal that you have in your hand, Voyageur, and all the work and art produced in the journal is by students. So all the art you see, student art, all the writing you see, student writing. And we put this out every year, and then we started having this party a few years ago just to celebrate and honor the people who contributed. So I'd like to say thank you to some folks first. Amy Brown Marshall, who's the chair of, I don't even know what the department's called anymore.
Communication, Design, and Creative Arts.
Communications, Design, and Creative Art, because her people worked really hard with our people to make this work, so thanks. I also want to thank my former dean, their current dean, Dean Janice Nesser-Chu, who is so supportive and helped us get this book together, get it together 3 years ago when I approached her and said, hey, I'd love to collaborate with the art department on this. What do you think? And she really helped us get this together, so thank you. We have another dean here today visiting us, Patrick Mallory. He's here in place of my dean, Amy Mead, because she couldn't make it. So thank you, Patrick, for coming. And of course, I want to thank all the people who worked on the book, but that list is very long. I will start with just a few people. Ron Ebest, who you'll be hearing from later. Dr. Ebest is an English professor here, and he's also the faculty advisor for Voyageur. So where is Ron? And Tim Courtois. Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah. Yep.
He works in the art department. He's one of our art faculty, and he helped work with the students on the art side, designing this. Is he here? He's not here, so should we applaud?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I also want to point out Tim Layton for a very special reason. Professor Layton is the faculty advisor for our creative writing club. So if you're interested, Tim, will you raise your hand? So if you're interested in joining the creative writing club, go talk to Professor Layton.
I have a sign-up sheet.
And then you can see, I hope everybody has a copy of the book. We're going to have some readers today, and as they read, you can open the book up and follow along with them as they read. But before we get the reading started, we'd like for you to go ahead and get some food.
Hi, how is everybody doing? Excellent. My name's Ron Ebest. I teach English here. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Lainey. Lainey Edwards is the editor of Voyageur, and she's going to take over and introduce all our readers, okay? All right. Lainey.
Yay!
Hello, I'm the student editor, Lainey, and without further ado, we'd like to start the reading. I'll introduce each of our Voyageur writers, and the Voyageur, like people publishing Voyageur, can read. And if you also want to read, like if you have time at the end, We also have a sheet over here for that. So feel free to come up and just your name on the sheet. I'd like to introduce our first Voyageur reader, Francisco.
This is calluses. With our hands intertwined, I feel for every crease, bump, and callus. Your big palms and slender fingers, great for head scratches. I tell you to use chalk, but you never listen. I like your rough hands when they're on me. Fingernails cut low, painted with green. You complain about the roughness, but I still find them gentle. So fragile and cold, I shiver at each touch. You beckon in my grasp as you reach out for me. Your hands are the ones that I want to hold. Feeling your manly knuckles, touch me when I'm close, but please be careful and don't let go. If I pull away, just pull me back in and intertwine those fingers with me once again.
All right. Can Andrea come up, please?
So, good afternoon, everyone. If you would like to follow, you can turn to page 43 and 44. The poem is called A Tree of Life. A tree of life, it builds me up and carries my strife. A tree of life, I hug it tight. It costs me nothing for a gift of life. A tree of life, it's like the wind blowing across my eyes. Its presence is like a gift wrapped like a Christmas present. There is nothing like mine. When the tree blooms, I am anew. I touched the tree of life on one afternoon, when the sky was still blue. When the leaves fall, it reminds me, in life we may fall. A call for change, of course. A tree of life never forces anyone to take this course. In a season where the leaves change their colors, a reason to look at self and at each other. The mirrors are a good detection of reflections. A tree of life sends me a call when the branches fall. The tree trunks still stand tall, no matter the weather, the winter, the spring, or the fall. Tree of life never loses its cause. I am no longer a prisoner within my soul. I can hear my voice even when it's down low. This tree of life can never be sold. To say thank you, I carved my name into the tree to signify the peace it gave to me. The tree of life, it set me free.
So this poem is called I'm Not White. I rummaged through my head to pay for my pain meds and chips, as you rummage through your head for that Spanish phrase you learned in high school. $7.50. I know I have a quarter somewhere in my pocket, but the ignorance doesn't come because I'm paying with change. The ignorance comes from your mouth, an annoying yet harmless phrase. But it's not the phrase you said that's harmful, it's the way you said it. De donde eres? I look up, confused and annoyed. You think I can't hear you, or you must think I'm playing dumb. De donde eres? There you go again. Why must you need to know where I'm from? You must not realize your ignorance or your horrible accent. De donde eres? Excuse me, I say. I'm from here, clearly in my perfect English. I'm not white, neither are you. But this poem isn't about my skin color or my struggles of being Hispanic. It's about why. Why do I need to express my individuality to be great, to be heard? I'm fine with my poems about how much I love my boyfriend or how much I despise and miss my father. Because what I write is my decision. I won't downplay anyone else's experiences with being different. You say what you need to say, and I'll cheer louder than anyone else.
Peer pressure. It's on page 53. I drop my pencil and I pick up my eraser. How frustrating. Time to start again. I'm terrible, so what's the point? Why do I even bother? Sometimes it helps me when I remind myself of my aspirations and the loved ones whom I don't want to disappoint. I draw to show up the ones who doubted me. I often have self-doubts, so I draw for the you that believes in me. We'll prove them wrong, we'll make them proud. I draw to make my loved ones proud. I draw to have a voice. I draw to get people talking. I draw to inspire, for jealousy is a terrible emotion. I draw to feel productive. I draw because creativity is fun, and I'd like to be great at it one day. I draw because while listening to my favorite music, and try to match the vibe. I draw because it's an easier way to express myself. I draw to practice. I draw for peace. I draw because I wish everyone would just chill out. I draw to escape. I draw to lock in. I draw to compliment. I draw for love. I draw because I hate. I draw to fight against complacency. I draw because I have to be great. I draw because I love cool visuals and animation. I draw to outclass AI in every single way. I draw for the love of creation and creativity. I draw because I love the nostalgic, chalky smell of tempera paint. I draw for the sense of completion after hours. I draw for the sense of completion after hours of scoring the paper. The crevices and indents decorate the page. I draw for the weak. I draw for the strong. I draw because I don't know what else to do. I draw because I want to create stories. I draw because I want to represent. I draw for honor, reaching for heaven. I draw for you to have fun. I draw for me to have fun. I draw for speculative fiction. I draw to visualize for better, and I draw to visualize for worse. I draw because I like to make, I draw because I want to make the little music videos I visualize in my head a reality. I draw because I struggle to write about myself and in general. I draw because I feel at home, blessed in the dust of my poor eraser. I draw to bring people together. I draw in memoriam. I draw to make funny memes. I draw when I feel depressed. I draw when I feel worn out and tired. I draw for perseverance. I draw to be who you wanted. If I could be who you wanted. I draw because I'm a scaredy cat. I draw for weirdos. I draw for the dorks. I draw to conceptualize worlds and to invent characters. I draw because I'm in love with truth. I draw to form connections. I draw to create the illusion of life, to capture the beauty of design. I draw because I wish I was special. I draw to capture your attention, to inspire you to create, the genesis of imagination. I draw to know if I can do it. I'll draw knowing that I draw knowing I might grow tired of it one day. I draw because whatever. I draw to illustrate a thesis. I draw because I love the lavender winter night sky, the tranquil sound of snowflakes meeting the earth. I draw because I love the little paw prints I see in the snow. I draw because I love the ambience in the coffee shop, the rich and comforting smell of the daily roast. I draw because these are a few of my favorite things. I draw because I'm an ordinary Joe. Each little bird in the sky is just a little bit freer than I. I draw to build. I draw to destroy. I draw to make noise. I draw to live and learn. I draw to make something comforting. I draw for when my words are not enough. I draw so you know how much you're loved. I draw for that satisfying feeling of finally nailing that curve I had drawn and erased so many times before. I draw because I love that fresh, comforting, woody smell of a new page in my sketchbook. I draw because I love to feel the grit of charcoal veneer in my hands. I draw because it's so fun to lift and layer that soot and revel in the mess. I draw to reveal a dusty copy of my subject. I draw to breathe life into a page once bare, as the space gets more and more populated with ideas and aspirations, and appreciations and hopes and dreams and caricatures and jokes, and expressions and representations and perspectives, and sometimes it's just randomness. I draw because I can't help but want to illustrate a portrait of passion.
And then my last one is called Nap Time, which is about me working in childcare. I work with 1-year-olds and they're a hoot. My frustration with you is that you yell at me and tell me no. You're sweet when you spit at me and sour when you ask for books. You're excited for jumping shoes, but not when it's time to clean up, even when you knocked the toys down. I love dancing with you and showing you how to share. You push your friends and you cry when they push you back. When we sing together, your smile shines my whole world. It's the biggest I've ever seen. You say no to nap time, but yes to sitting on my lap. You're so smart when you shout hooray after we finish each book. You clap for everything, but I don't clap when you climb on shelves. You may stress me out and make me rethink my job. But when you run up to me to say hello, I know I couldn't be anywhere else. You light up my world and make me want to pull my hair. But please let me wipe your boogers and show you how to be a little human. Love, your teacher, Mr. Fran.
I'm going to read this poem that I wrote for my grandmother's 90th birthday. It's called A Warrior Queen. A warrior queen is what I call my grandmother. She is a warrior because it's in her DNA. She is a queen because of the job she was called to do. A mother, an aunt, a sister, a daughter, a grandmother, a great-grandmother. All are great names, but only a few can fulfill the qualifications. Grandma, I underestimated you. I could never fill your shoes. It takes strength to continue to fight for life. It takes courage to walk in hope that better days are coming. It takes food of wisdom to believe in the unseen. Yet, you accomplished so much in 90 years. You never lost a race, even when the world thought less about your race. You remained steadfast in your faith. You never let anyone see you sweat in tears from the many tireless nights and talks with God. My warrior queen, you have surpassed the test of beauty, courage, and wisdom. Now it's time to take your bow. Ozzie Kinder, my grandmother, my warrior queen.
Hi, everyone. I'm a little nervous. This is a poem I wrote. It's a confession of a mother. I called it Hush. Hush now, baby. I need you to be quiet. It's really not that hard. Mommy's sleepy, you know, so hush. I never asked to be a part of you. I mean this. I still reminisce about the past, about me being happy and free, a life without misery, a life so much more easy, you see, so hush. Are you not happy with mommy? You cry every night, but you are full and okay. You cry every morning as if you just wanted to go away. If I had a chance, I wouldn't stay. So hush. I could leave like your father did, disown you from your family like my mother and papa did. You will receive no more love because nobody wants you. I never wanted you. Mommy didn't have a choice, you know. You were mommy's downfall. You took everything away from me, and now look, mommy has nothing at all. So hush, baby. Every day I think of how life would be without you. If I put you up for adoption or left you at a fire station, maybe even in the trash, your life would be gone in a flash. If I miscarried you, my life would be less effed up and more. My life would be less effed up and less scary. I should have aborted you before you even had the chance to breathe. I should have rushed, and I even gave you a chance to adjust inside of me, and then maybe you would be hushed. How does it feel to be unwanted at a young age? Your life will mean nothing because you were nothing. So a word of advice, baby. Listen to mommy and hush.
Hi, I want to jump in here because I want to introduce Lainey. I don't want to make Lainey introduce herself. But Lainey Edwards is, of course, the editor of Voyageur, and she's written just such a fine piece of writing about, I mean, extremely sensitive. You know, I don't want to condescend here, but it's rare to see writing like this nuanced out of somebody this young. So this is kind of a great piece of writing. So I guess, before she comes up, I wanted to make sure that we thank some people too. Paul, and Evelyn, and Beatrice. Where is she? Oh, right there, okay. So, these three are the ones who put the thing together. I'm the one standing up and talking, but these are the guys who actually did the thing. So I thought at the very least I'd introduce them to you. Okay, thank you guys. So, Lainey, come on up.
So, a little backstory before I continue with my essay. So this is a definition essay on the topic of solitude. And when I originally did the draft for this, like I had no idea what I wanted to write for this essay. Like I went through like drafts and topics. Like I started from philosophy, I went to history, I wanted to do like a definition essay on the Prince, the book, the philosophy behind it. But one day I just came up with this and I thought, maybe I'll stick with this. So
What page is it on?
oh, it's page right at the beginning, number 3 to number 8. Yeah, 7. Thank you. All right, so guess I'll start. It's called Running with Your Own Pack. Solitude is a word that brings many images to the mind. Perhaps still pictures of a kneeling monk in a sequestered monastery or a dissatisfied man traversing the snow-covered slopes and peaks of Tibet's Mount Everest, alone flash through one's eyes. Or maybe, considering the more extreme point of view, a social escapee running from some grandiose boogeyman or a rugged, individualistic prepper, stowing away in a backwater cabin is what some people first think of. Already, we can see that the word solitude brings many different perspectives, point of views, and definitions to mind. But what does it really mean? Simple detonation of a word does not lend any sufficient backing. The detonation can literally tell you what a word means and maybe hint at the historical flavoring of the word, but it can't really give an accurate description of what the word means to any individual person. One needs to delve further into the pool of human consciousness to unravel each individual's truth. Having this rule in mind, the word solitude becomes intersecting and tangled branches, rather than a simple trunk that a great magnanimous tree grows from. Despite all the conflicting points of view that every unique human experience presents by virtue of being human, I would consider solitude a merged state of relaxed consciousness and proximity away from humanity. Solitude has always been a point of contention for humans, for as long as humans have existed. Major world religions have also considered solitude to be an important spiritual component of their sacred doctrine. One need look no further than the 2 Abrahamic world religions for this point to have a basis in reality. Itikaf, an Arabic word meaning to stick to something, whether good or bad, and to block out everything else, is a practice in the religion of Islam. The Muslims isolate themselves from the outside world and its influences to find inner peace, which is intrinsically connected to their spiritual connection to Allah, Islamic God. This suggests that solitude is an important small component of the religion of Islam, which is an Eastern religion. To contrast with the predominant religion of the West, Christianity, solitude too is an important component of the religion, shown by the passage concerning the Jewish people and their exodus into the desert wilderness, where they would spend a grand number of 40 years there wandering, and later of Jesus praying in the garden of Gethsemane alone shows the importance of solitude. In fact, every significant biblical figure achieves a discipline of complete solitude. Thus, like Christianity's brother to the east, solitude is an important component of the religion. Solitude's prominence in the world's most influential religions goes to show that it holds immense value beyond a simple retreat from human society. But what exactly is solitude? Is it adherence to a confined space away from outside human influence? Or is it a state of mind? That question can be answered many ways, as every individual person has their unique perspective that is in turn crafted and molded by their personal experience in the world. The discipline of being alone, but not wholly alone, is not always viewed positively. People who prefer to voluntarily sit by themselves or pursue hobbies or interests by themselves are seen as eccentric, odd, and at worst, absolute outcasts from human society. We see it often in the books we read, the movies we watch. This perception pervades every sphere of media that we as a human society consume. Furthermore, certain groups of individuals, such as introverts, are viewed with almost critical suspicion. In contrast to their extrovert counterparts, introverts are seen as not being particularly social or fun to be around. And it is for this reason they tend to become ostracized from social groups of people. Growing up, I was outgoing, in a way that most young, innocent kids are. But as I approached my formative adolescent years, I became more withdrawn. I was, and still am to an extent, a true blue introvert. I preferred the company of books that would bring me to a wonderful world, so unlike this one, and reveled in the solitude I seemed to cultivate the older I got. The older I got, the more solitude I loved became more of a time for reflection for me, rather than an escape from a world I found maddening. This fondness for a peaceful time for myself, and only myself, came at a cost, however. I found I could never fit in and would constantly be excluded by my peers, because I was not as comfortable jumping into any situation as they were. Others mistook me for being snobbish or cold, when I simply preferred saying little, unless necessary. There were even some that found me intimidating, which I found quite peculiar and fascinating, if I'm to be honest, because when I think of intimidating, my face is the furthest thing that comes to mind. This phenomenon is very common in middle school and high school settings. Adolescent children and young adults are still struggling to find who they are and thus participate in a process of trial and error. The results of this can be either good and have a general and net positive effect, or end up swinging the opposite way and end up having a detrimental effect. Introverts find that to fit in, they must adopt the mannerisms typical of extroverts. In this regard, introverts have higher social hurdles to overcome than extroverts. This is because in the workplace, introverts tend to not be promoted as much, and if they do, they adopt the behavior of extroverts. The effects have a negative long-term effect on the individual introvert's behavior and moods. Psychological research has shown this is the case by the fact that introverted employees who acted like their extroverted coworkers tended to become depleted after a while, as this acting was contrary to their natural personality. But this research does not necessarily prove whether there is a positive net effect or a negative net effect when it comes to the discipline of being alone in the outside world. Additionally, there are studies that focus on the habits of people that tend to prefer time alone, though these are not underlined by any factor of shyness or social anxiety. The studies outlined that a preference for solitude was not caused by any negative factors. History is dotted with certain figures who came to a realization of epiphany through voluntary solitude. On the other end of the spectrum, involuntary solitude has shown to be incredibly detrimental to the human spirit and body. People who are perpetually lonely are more likely to suffer from diseases later in life and have a 32% chance of dying earlier. Thus, There is a marked difference between solitude and involuntary solitude, or loneliness. The major difference between the two is the feeling one gets. Solitude that is not imposed on one, that is consciously chosen, can be a beneficial part of human life. Meditation, as a part of day-to-day human life, has become increasingly popular outside religious or spiritual circles. Solitude can look differently from the perspectives and angles of different people. But solitude for me has always meant a discipline that is just as important as essential human activities such as eating and sleeping. Being alone, but not necessarily lonely, has helped me process the events of the day. As an introvert, I do not become energized when around other people, but when I'm alone and engaging in what I love. I do not find the solitude unbearable, as it gives me time to think and take consideration of my future plans, goals, and objectives. And additionally, a distraction-free environment helps me concentrate on what is important to me at that moment. It is difficult to navigate society as an introvert sometimes, whether it is in school, work environment, or the corporate world. There are biases and stereotypes attached to how an introvert should be. But as time goes on, more people are starting to realize that saying little or preferring time alone does not equate to something negative. Many people in history knew of the benefits of having a discipline of solitude. A notable historical figure who embodied this would be Henry David Thoreau. Thoreau published many works praising the wonderfulness of the individual being in solitude. He spoke of enjoying nature while being in solitude and how nourishing it can be for the human spirit. To the introverts out there who enjoy the solitude and expressing themselves this way, you're not tampered by any black melancholy, as our dear friend Thoreau would say. One can find perfect solace in nature, and it is neither unnatural nor something to be frowned upon.
I'm the person who announces food. We now have some cake for you, so please help yourself to some cake. And if after we get cake, if anyone wants to read, we'll open the mic up for anyone else. So, and let's applaud all these great student readers, all the artists, all the student artists.
One.
Wasn't that amazing? Most certainly was, wasn't it? Hope y'all enjoyed this very first episode of the Media Mayhem. It was really good. I know we all laughed. Some people cried. I know you did cry. In the back with the gray hoodie on. It's okay, I won't tell anyone. I'll tell someone just 'cause. But make sure to join us next week. Same media time, same media channel. Right here on Florissant Valley. It's going to be better next week, isn't it? Yes, it is. All right. Bye-bye.